Honestly, I feel like I come back to this game at least once a year just to play it, enjoy the vibe, you know? But this time I had a serious problem. I want this damn sword in Guild Wars 2. However, the only way to get it is by going and playing a bit of Guild Wars 1. So I decided to dive back into the old world of Ascalon and Tyria, and honestly, this game has so many damn memes just baked into it. Of course, if I'm doing a totally serious playthrough of Guild Wars 1, it takes a totally serious looking character. One of my favorite classes from playing Guild Wars 1 way back when was a ranger, so of course I create the skinniest and possibly the most Giga Chad looking man that I can. In all seriousness, this guy could probably benefit from a few cheeseburgers. Or steroids. After giving him a hilariously detailed beard, I set off to create his name. I forget that the Caffeinated Dad is already taken by my whammo, which is what the cool kids call a warrior monk combo class, so I add a unique twist that's never been seen before. Yeah, this is a totally serious playthrough. The opening cinematic gives us an ominous foretelling of what's going to happen, and for some reason multiple copies of the same woman standing there looking in the same direction. So first off, we go and look at the quest, never mind. I guess we just absorb that completely and have no need to read why we do anything. Just follow the little green light. For this basically being the new player landing zone, there are multiple level 20s here, which level 20 is the max level. If you can make it to max level without leaving Ascalon, you get an achievement called the Legendary Defender of Ascalon, which honestly means that you pulled in Eric Cartman from the episode of South Park where they kill boars for 200 hours in Elwyn Forest. Anyway, my skinny twink is off on his adventure shooting random SCP horrors that are supposed to be like scale, like these are common river creatures. You know what? In that case, I'm glad this whole damn place burns. We give a cha-cha slide and we're off on our adventure. What I kind of forgot about this game is the affinity for walking. You get to stretch those malnourished legs, Calf Dad, because we're going to go on a 10-day marathon to the next quest hub. You get to go back to one of the more beautiful places here, which is Ashford Abbey, where Brother Menlo lives. And no, I don't mean that he's a brother like I'm respected in the hood. No, he's actually a brother monk, which makes no damn sense. Well, we go and unlock dual class options, which if you spend too much time picking one class at the beginning, guess how much stress you're going to have when you have to pick a second one about 5 minutes later. Now this becomes my first massive mistake of many that I will probably make in a long series through this playthrough, and I chose a Mesmer as my secondary class. A long time ago, I remember getting fondled by Touch Rangers, and that's without consent. Well, I forgot that Touch Rangers were a dual class with necromancers, not mesmers. Whoops! Looks like the theater kids suffer again. Can't wait to have an entire second class that I never touch ever again. Now, I have to unlock my pet, which is of course the most sacred pastime of any ranger, much like how going vegan sounds great until you can't eat bacon. That's completely unrelated. To complete a quest, we have to go and tame a giant cat, and I know I'm supposed to be the master here, but this cat absolutely trucks me. He's dealing like 20 to 30 damage with each of his hits. I really hope that carries over when he's my pet. Have you ever beat a boss in an RPG and then he joins your party and hits like wet noodle? Yep, my pet went from dealing 30 damage each hit to about -6. I am already loving my journey. Look at me go. Some of my quests had me running around with this lady Devona for whatever reason. By the way, she can tank multiple arrow shots to the face from every direction. Just soak it in like she's a damn sponge. It's great because my crackhead cat and me can just sit back and DPS at a distance. But now a very important quest piques my interest. I have to go play with some guy's worm.
Hold up.
I help him with his worm problem?
Wait a minute.
Well, regardless, I already have the dashing face fail for their enjoyment. Well, Duke Kaboom here asked me to go with his potentially autistic son, Faden, to go look for Devourer eggs. Not only does he not assist me in the combat, he grabs the eggs and dances in the background. What fun! After completing the dance of me doing all the work and him getting to play with his eggs, we gather what we need and move on. Apparently, we had to go into a dark cave with a stranger to get the eggs to lure out a giant worm
Something ain't right.
to kill in a field, which this is all very surprising to me, but hey, probably would have not been as surprising if I actually read the damn text involved with the quest. Nope. We're not here for reading. Follow the green markers, that's where I gotta go. The worm dies very easily, but I spot this wolf pet that you can tame. He's less of a wolf and more of an overly jacked steroid dog that runs like an NFL lineman doing a bear crawl towards someone. The pets in this game are just like wild void creatures, holy crap. So I sprint back as fast as humanly possible to where the ranger tamer is, and I click the abandon button on my kitty cat, and it's exactly like this meme.
I don't want to play with you anymore.
Why? because I want my roid raging werewolf to be at my side. After dealing with the emotional and mental trauma that comes along with leaving a beloved companion, it's time to quest a bit more. I remember in the Catacombs there was a bunch of quests, and that's a pretty good place to go and level, so why not? I probably won't need to get to level 5 to burn this place to the ground, but I feel like unaliving some of the undead, like I'm a witch hunter, so here we go. I then see something foreboding. A devourer gets blown up like a 50-cent balloon, and now there's a giant green circle on the ground. I'm not sure how I can get by it without triggering, but it looks like the left side there's a little bit more room that perhaps I can just slide by. I mean, I'm trying to see how far I can get without dying. This is probably gonna be fine, right? Anyway, after blowing off my lower half with a splinter mine, I say this dungeon is not for me. I hate this place and I wanna see it burn. We start a mission with the Gigachad Prince Rurik, who, if you didn't know, is basically the embodiment of manliness. There were rumors that the sound of his voice could actually cure poison ivy, but that's neither here nor there. We kill the Char that's hiding in this cave, and we get to see the entire world get absolutely nuked by a firebomb, from which the Char, which I know the Char got a visual upgrade through the years, but look how goofy these guys look. I just want you to enjoy this with me. Anyway, people are dying in the thousands here while we were safely in our bunker cave. Well, now we get to explore the world after the searing, and let's just say things got extra crispy. No vegetations, the rocks are alive and want to put you into a hard place, and basically the mood is the color brown. So I'd say it's time to move on. We level to 5, and now it's the perfect time to start grinding out some of the missions. So if you didn't know, Guild Wars 1 has a total of 25 missions to complete the prophecy story, and each mission could be anywhere between 10 minutes or an hour and a half. I don't make the rules here. The first mission is to find a Char army, which really shouldn't be all that difficult because, I mean, they're cats and they're colored brown. Oh no, they're colored brown. Back landscape is all brown. Geez, this is starting to feel like those Where's Waldo puzzles, but he isn't even in the picture. Know why he wears stripes? It's because he didn't want to be spotted. Anywho, what doesn't make sense about this barren wasteland is the amount of monkey people that live here and can survive. You'd think with this little amount of green that they would have kind of moved on instead of monkeying around here. After killing literally anything with a pulse in a 3-mile radius, we get to see a Char army, which I'm just going to say is hilariously small. Like, this is the Char army. There's 20 cats and 1 glowing red guy, but that's probably just the first incarnation of an infusion from Guild Wars 2, and this is where they were testing it. Well, somehow they spot us and Van Dam a door in, and I don't know, move a stone that probably weighs 200 pounds. Hey, but who needs logic? Well, they chase us and I do the most heroic thing and I sprint my little twink legs off. I leave all my associates behind and lead a massive army straight to 5 unaware guards because I'm the hero here. The next mission has us fighting to push the Char army back, which I still stand by. If we had like 2 monk henchmen and like 5 Ascalon guards as cannon fodder, we could have had this war won by like noon. Not sure what everyone else's problem is, but anyway, we help this guy out and he asks us to help his buddy Dieter, which, to be honest, if I had a buddy named Dieter, I would have said that he got what he deserved for picking a dorky name. No offense if your name is Dieter, but just make better choices. The next 20 minutes of this mission is nothing but just us dealing with ranged enemies who are up on the sides of the canyon, so we can't actually hit them in melee. At least you got this super buff ranger that can hit him. Hadn't had a meal since 93. Well, we find Dieter, and for some reason he has his armor and his sword still on him. Like, you couldn't figure out a way to live even after being imprisoned with all of your equipment. Again, Dieter confirmed being a dorky name and a dorky person. The mission has us launching a near fully functional trebuchet at the enemies, which are conveniently standing underneath where it's going to land, because why not? Why not have one possible weapon that can devastate your entire army and completely turn the tides? Yeah, let's go stand right where it's going to land. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, Gigachad Rurik says it's time for us to fight back, and we see a nice picture of my ranger's house for some reason. But then there is something that I don't understand. This battlement that we're up on, how did we get up here? There's no ladder. How the hell do we get down? Guys, I'm really trying. Where's the logic here? Usually, each mission leads right up until the next, but in some cases, it requires us to go into the open world, like this one. Most of the missions are tame, but the open world can be absolutely brutal with the roaming gangs of enemies that are here. And we have to get to the ruins of Sirmia to help out some of our captured guards that just got kidnapped. I don't know. There's only so much that we can do. There's too much dumb here. And I will reiterate, they are 100% inside their cages with full armor and weapons. Just saying. Rurik joins us again, which honestly, with a flaming sword this cool, I was kind of hoping that he would do more damage. But anyway, we progress forward. And what's funny about having him in our party is that he is the most vocal trash talker I have experienced in any game. He legit taunts and like teabags enemies every chance that he get, which all my henchmen barely say anything. They barely say a word. That's how I pay them to not say anything. They just do their job and keep their mouth shut. That's what I need from you. We hit a couple of char packs that actually start to have healers in them, and I will say it starts to get obnoxious because I ran into a group that had 3 healers and it was nearly game over. You cannot deal enough damage to unalive any of the enemies here before they fully heal up, and there's only so much your monk healer can do. Absolutely BS if you ask me, but we hit a couple of these cages and free our very well armed buddies, and now we find a captive who is a little bit unique because he isn't an Ascalon soldier with a sword. Talk about your main character energy. We have to teleport out of this place by apparently defending these electric towers and the mages that were here, so that's easy enough. I step away in real life because the kids need me, and I guess everything turned out okay. I don't know, we won the quest and I came back to a cutscene.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part. I didn't do fucking shit!
Again, I'm paying the henchmen to do the work. Do the work. This aged old man says that we should blow this magical horn that will summon storms of putting out fires around, which is very convenient that this is here. What a great plot device. I mean, it ain't gonna blow itself. We casually teleport out, clearly leaving one of the mages alive in the background, and the next mission is Nolani Academy. Rorik and I are on the mission to blow, and it doesn't matter how many furries we have to dance with. We're gonna make it happen.
What the hell is even that?
This is probably why I should go to therapy. Anyway, right out the gate, I pull a massive pack of baddies and then wipe 2 members of my party, which, boy, I wish I could have been more useful and at least brought a res or picked a dual class that could heal. Anyway, that would have been great for class cohesion. What dummy would only pick a ranger mesmer? Well, we fight all these different malfights a few times to get to the Stormcaller, which the plot armor is so thick it clogged my arteries. Rorik blows the whistle, baby, and it starts to rain and puts out all the fires from the scared kitty cats. And of course their fur is getting wet, so they're not happy. We finally get to the last boss, and it literally takes 10 seconds, and he's dead. 10 seconds is all it took for us to end this push from the Char army. All this work that we did for the amount of time that I can actually listen to Taylor Swift without my ears bleeding. We then get a cutscene of the King's Royal Guards, but what's funny about them is that the way that they're walking, they're turning and pacing like they're on a damn runway. Why do they gotta act like that? Well, Rorik says we gotta go because there's nothing left to rebuild, and the king says that's bullshit and you're dumb. Rorik then says you're old and dumb, and the tips of their swords almost touch, so I don't know. Then the king hits the kill switch and literally banishes his son and strips him of the title. Boy, I thought people in our time couldn't handle a debate. Well, Rorik runs off, and in synchronized fashion, our whole party runs off with him. Well, I pick up some of the quests that are here nearby Yak's Bend because my plan is to get some experience and some skills before I progress any further. But what I end up doing is pulling an entire crowd of rock elementals and hydras. Hydras, by the way, can nearly one-shot you with their meteor skill. This is possibly the sketchiest pull that I have ever taken, and we still won somehow. I totally got stoned here. So these giant raptors that Time Forgot is decimating our group like we were that guy on the porta potty in Jurassic Park 1. And somehow it only gets worse. We pull another pack of giant rock throwing boys. Blessia, bless her bald head, is stressed to no end. I get stoned, they kill my pet, which somehow locks me out of all of my skills for 5 seconds, and somehow we turn it around. I have no idea how we won this. I get a couple of items, like the purple sword drop and the Survivor's Guild, from everyone in my group dying except for me. Yay! I progress up this mountain to get to the next mission, and there's nothing but ice elementals and these super badass dwarves. I'm sorry, ArenaNet, you missed a clear choice for a race that you could have had. I know the dwarves are basically extinct because they sacrifice themselves to kill a dragon minion, but if we had a dwarf as a playable race, that would be incredible. I'm just saying, I'm not arena partner for nothing. Well, anyway, each one of these guys has legit full-on Deldrimir plate armor, which doesn't make sense that they should die so quickly, I'm just saying. Now, the next mission starts for Borealis Pass. We have to light some bonfires and stop a siege that's happening on Rorik and Jollis Ironhammer. If you play Revenant, then that dwarf name should ring a bell. And no, not like the dwarves from The Hobbit, which the trilogy was objectively very good and doesn't deserve the hate, I'm just saying. After 10 minutes of wandering around in the snow, fighting centaurs, of all creatures, we get to the entrance where the evil dwarves are sieging all the good dwarves. Now we have to stop a siege, yay! Now, I get even more pissed that the dwarves aren't playable here because then they have Beastmasters that they ride on, these metal-clad, steel-clad gorillas. Holy crap, that would have been such a cool, unique mount to have. I don't know. What I'm saying really sounds like a fever dream. Well, they stomp and hit really hard, but are basically made of paper. Everything in this section is super easy to kill. But I pull a dumb move and accidentally pull a named mob who is also a healer, along with another healer on a Dolyak. 2 healers, and now I have no one who can heal because Alessia got iced immediately.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
And all the reses in my group are gone because they've already been used. Well, inadvertently, I caused the complete wipe of our group except for my pet and I, and let me fast forward to what happens.
Still a piece of garbage.
Okay, after spending about 20 minutes clearing out all the way back to where we were, we get to the bonus objective done, which is to kill a frosty snack that's in this cave. I can finally finish this damn mission. Chalice talks to us and gives us the Mystic Torch, but holy crap, you gotta look at Little Thorn. His face is like 90% stash, man. The late 80s adult entertainment scene would be proud. We climb up to the top of this cliff and light a few beacons, but I skip the last mob who ends up chasing us through the cutscene like it's a Scooby-Doo villain. And we get up and close with the other dwarves here, and now I can see why they didn't make the cut for Guild Wars 2. Never mind, carry on, ArenaNet. The last mission in the mountains is the Frost Gate, which seems simple enough. We gotta get through the Frost Gate pass, which really shouldn't be that big of an issue. There's minotaurs, there's angry dwarfs with hammers, and there's ballista that are literally just firing explosives endlessly into the same spot because, you know what? The hell with that one spot in particular. Also, killing a dwarf who is manning the ballista somehow causes the ballista to implode because physics, I guess. I don't know, I'm not a scientist. What I start to feel this game is it's more like an arena match from World of Warcraft. Like, each party is doing their best to knock the other party down by either killing a healer or focusing on a DPS and then interrupting a healer. I'm just saying, it feels very much like that. Well, I grabbed this dwarf for the bonus quest on this mission, and he wants us to steal some battle plans, but I have to keep him alive, so naturally, what do? Walk him straight into this firing range. I heard dwarfs were sturdy, time to put that to the test. He took a hit, and he's fine, so I wouldn't worry about it. A minute later, I run into a group of Dolyak riders, and for some reason, the whole enemy group chose racism and killed the only dwarf that's a part of my party. I'm not a healer, so oh well, time to move on.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
Rorik gives us an inspiring speech about opening up the Frost Gate with these huge cranks and asks us to pull his lever, so I of course jump to the quest. I mean, we already had the horn blowing arc, so this makes complete sense to me. Also, for the rest of this mission, please call me Caffeinated Wolfcock, because why is this a thing? We activate all 3 of the levers, everyone runs through while Rorik does the most obnoxiously heroic thing and stays back to fight multiple enemies. Like, you can outrun them, they're dwarves. They have tiny ass legs. Simply just outrun them, my dude. Like, they're all dangerous of a short distance. Well,
We dwarves are natural sprinters. Very dangerous over short distances.
well, some angry dwarf comes over on a giant big lizard, and we try to save Rorik, but like, he's like, leave me here, I believe in you, and somehow I just phase out of existence. Say less, queen. Well, he died. Things can only get better from here, right?